On one hand, it's very prudish and everyone's fully clothed, but then on the other hand, they keep saying like such a 10-year-old word, a 10-year-old child's word, like boner. It's just like that's the level of sexuality of this film.
Motherfucking goddamn orange peel beef.
All right, everybody. Welcome to One Fucking Hour. I am your host, Evan Husney, joined, of course, by my usual twosome here. To my left, we got Tom Fitzgerald. Tom.
Yo.
And to my right, looking fresh-faced after a beautiful trim, we have Marcus Herring.
What's up, guys?
Marcus haircutting.
Haircutting. Wait, did I got too short?
Oh,
great.
It looks
It's
good.
wonderful.
Looks great. Looks beautiful. So I think
It's kind of Zelensky-ish, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
It's good. Works.
That's a good. I think we are on episode 22.
Damn, dude.
22 fucking hours in to this crazy project here.
It's fun. It's a funny way to look at it. Like 2 more, and we've got an entire day. Like someone could spend an entire day of their life watching this show.
Yes, that's actually the way it's recommended to consume our show.
Yes. Binge.
Straight marathon. And one of those hours of your day would be devoted to this week's fucking movie. So this fucking hour is on, regretfully, on the 1994 thriller, erotic thriller, Disclosure. Can't believe we're doing it.
Disclosure, babe. If you're wondering how low we can sink, you're about to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the reason for this is we kind of had some heavier films, or we came off a Lost Highway, big mindfuck, and we needed something just to kind of, screw our heads back on.
We were going on spring break.
Yes. Right.
I'm going to do Dennis Miller the whole time.
Oh, no.
All
right.
It was spring break. We were just going to kick back and just watch a dumb movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, all right, shall we do this? I'm going to start the clock. Here we go. Maybe we can squeak a few.
I'd say an hour is plenty of time.
Yeah, maybe we should let some seconds bleed here.
I think this hour is the most anyone has ever talked about Disclosure, and I'm including the makers of Disclosure.
Longer than the pre-pro meeting.
Definitely.
That's right.
All right, let's get everybody up to speed. So, Disclosure, everybody, is the here we go. It is the.
You got the book?
I got the book, the novel. No, I don't. This is the Snapper DVD. Very emblematic.
Snap it.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Snap it.
Snap it or it didn't happen.
Okay. It is the Snapper DVD extraordinaire here version of Disclosure. Everyone should own this. But it is. It is the 1994 techno-erotic thriller adapted from the novel by Michael Crichton, and it follows a beleaguered CD-ROM manufacturer, Tom Sanders.
I'm in. just that character.
And that's
Say that again.
Snapper.
What is he? Say that again.
He is a beleaguered CD-ROM manufacturer.
Holy shit. That says it all.
It does.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Tom Sanders, played by Michael Douglas, whose corporate promotion is thwarted by former lover turned executive competitor Meredith Johnson, played by Demi Moore, in this woefully aged male empowerment screed, which culminates into a standoff in virtual reality.
Oh, wait, that's what the back of the box says? That's woefully...
No. The back of the Snapper?
No,
okay.
No.
Like, rent it today.
No. That's written by our executive producers. Anyway,
Wow.
So for those who don't know, I should explain. A Snapper is the Warner Brothers packaging of many 90s, thrillers kind of came in this packaging. And a lot of these movies really have a similar vibe, similar feeling. You're definitely going to see films involving, CD-ROM manufacturers are going to come in this case here. So for me...
It's like more eco, right? There's like more eco, like cardboard.
I think
so that they break down. There's the era where they ditched the jewel case on CDs for a while, and they were like all cardboard.
Yeah, I think that's the gimmick.
2 years.
But anyway, Tom, is there a movie that dates worse than this one?
Maybe, but it's up there definitely. It's up there definitely. I mean, it's dated in many ways. You were just saying what are some of the tenets of the snapper phenomenon that you're obsessed with, and I would say that one of the things you can count on is blue light.
Yeah,
generally.
Yeah,
and the shadows of Venetian blinds.
Yes,
definitely.
Yep.
And
emails, a lot of emails.
A lot of emailing with like weird, dodgy interfaces that didn't quite even probably actually happen with an email that was being written in 96 or 5,
Yeah. Good movie OS.
No, even more importantly is like little kind of like, what was that guy, the little icon on Windows?
Clippy.
Like
Clippy.
It's pre-Clippy, so it's like when they made these films and the graphics for computers, they sort of imagine, that a computer would have things like, like a hot dog, like surfing by you, like your email was sent, buddy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like wink. It had that like this sort of odd like.
There's like a Bob, Microsoft Bob or something. I think that.
No, but I'm not talking about like the reality. Like it's like the net being one of the great examples of what I'm saying is that's another tenet where it's like this strange misunderstanding or lack of understanding about like what day-to-day computer interface life was like on an email. And it wasn't dynamic with like surfing hot dogs, and like, like they're thinking maybe like the toaster in,
they're thinking like it's like VR. It's VR technology, and their mind goes to like Clippy, basically. Like, so you got this virtual world, and you're going to have a Clippy guy inside.
Because they have no idea what's going on, so they think it's a lot of like winking. Like hot dogs.
That's part of the charm of this movie is that like anytime you get a film like this, it's like the actors talking about computers and hard drives and disks, and they're just fed lines of these very base technological terms. And
I swear, at one point, just to speak to what you're saying, I swear at one point, Michael Douglas says, "Yeah, but did you put it on internet?" Like it doesn't use the article "the," and it just sounds so wrong.
He Googles who is a friend.
Yeah. No, but it's a good point, Evan, because that you're saying it's like Michael Douglas. Of course, he said like, "Well, did you find it on internet?" Like he's saying that because he has absolutely no idea what's going on. They could feed him anything. You know what I mean? So all of that is so good. And I definitely heard him say, like, "Did you find it on internet?"
I love that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you described it. The box described it as an erotic thriller, and I just gotta say, like, it's like it's an erotic thriller with zero nudity. Like, there's one, maybe half
one sex scene,
or like half one, maybe. Yeah.
Just one, and boy, is it a doozy. And maybe we should just not bury the lead.
Well, if I may,
Evan wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah. Before we get into the erotic thriller side of it, let's just close the loop on.
No! Sorry. Go ahead.
Let's just close the loop on the antiquated technology end of it because I have a few examples. Let's kick it off with some fun, and then maybe we'll get into the dark side of disclosure here. So first and foremost, kind of that technical jargon we were talking about. Here, this is I pulled this scene because it was just the one that came to mind, but there's several of this. You'll see a lot of this. Right off in the beginning of the film, when you learn that Michael Douglas is this company man here trying to manufacture these drives, man, and get them right. And this is the central conflict here is that the drives are not all right, man. They got some fucking hard drive problems.
Can I just point out that the big earth-shattering innovation of this company was they were portable. CD-ROM drives.
Right.
That's fucking hot. Like
External.
like let's go to the beach. I'll bring my CD-ROM. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anyway.
So here's an
Wasn't very
update.
Steve Jobs like level inspired. You know.
No.
But
So
you need your
here's-
laser stream and like a trampoline. That's how portable it is.
Oh,
Right. You need those flat lasers and a trampoline.
I don't know what you're talking
what you're
about.
saying.
Man. All right, here we go.
Keep
What's
saying
wrong
it,
with
though.
Archimax, Arthur?
The drives are just very slow. We're getting seek times in the 140, 160 range.
140 isn't a sexy CD player anymore. 140 is what everyone else has got.
My guys think there's a compatibility problem between the controller chip and the driver's software.
Well, if it's the chip,
Oh,
it's going to put us back a year.
Then there's this flicker in the screen. The current cuts in and out. I think it's a design
What
problem.
the hell you mean a design problem? Every laptop in the world's got the same design.
I sent you out some
Yeah,
drives.
what is he
DHL,
talking
you should
about?
get it by
It's
the
not
end of the
true.
day.
Bad.
This is bad. This is bad.
It reminds me.
We should grab that as one of our sound bites. This is bad.
This is bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, I was just gonna
It
say.
reminds me
real
of
quick.
that jargon stuff. Reminds me of that. There's that video technical. It's like jargon overload. You seen that on YouTube? It's pretty funny.
No,
It's like
You got the
it's
YouTube
like
stuff, I
a.
don't-
It's like it's an old like industrial film, and the guy's like, it's also capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters. It gets really hard into details on like just overload jargon, but that's what I was thinking of watching these.
But the added bonus, that guy probably, from that video you're talking about, he probably knew what he was talking about, but you just saw two actors who were just like trained monkeys
Yeah.
and just making sounds that were on paper. Like,
Yeah.
and they didn't make it sound convincing,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we're going to be backed up with chip, operating status, and then
Yeah.
when the cathode comes through, it's like
Laptops. All laptops are the
Boom.
same. Okay.
Yeah.
So then
the architecture of the
Yeah.
the cathodes.
60 megahertz. Yeah.
Right. But what really bridges the gap now into this tech side of the thrills in this film and the eroticism in this film, if you want to call it that, is through one email here, which we're going to look at. Let's look at the one email, and then we're going to get to the erotic thriller side of the movie. But I think this bridges the gap.
94 email.
Our
it to
first
me.
email on 1 fucking hour, guys.
Right. I want a loop of that. The screen and his reaction for like forever.
Yeah. For those of you listening on Spotify, yes, it says, "Is your cock hard now?" Is the email that Michael
Yeah.
Douglas has just
And
received.
nothing more, nothing less. And it was an email. Was that, by the way, was that an email? And if it was, did it have an attributable address of the sender? like, because that interface is so gonzo and unnecessarily kind of like chunky and like different colored blocks, right? Marcus, help me out here. Like that didn't look like
It's
an
big.
email.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I think they're imagining like a proto text or something. That I don't think that read to me as like him receiving an email.
No, it is an
Yeah,
email.
I guess
It's
that
an
isn't.
email.
So
it's
And the
supposed
whole-
to be an email, I think. Yeah.
No, it's
right.
an email, Tom. And
I had
the thing
email
is-
that, but I had it back then. It didn't look like that. So
of course,
I guess,
movies
I guess
never
I'm wrong.
get
movie
computer
email.
interface. It's movie email. But the
You've
thing
got
is
That's what makes
that-
that's what makes the Archimax so unique, you guys.
But he gets the email, but he doesn't know who it's come from. He doesn't. There's no sender. That's part of the mystery. Of
How do you
the
have
whole-
no sender?
But that's what's alluring about this no sender email.
Well, what is the
funny, it's-
email address? No, what is the email address of that email? Like it has to come from somewhere. Like,
He only gets emails from people he doesn't. He only gets anonymous emails in this movie. He gets
anonymous
two different
email.
anonymous
Exactly, he
from
gets
two
two
different
emails.
anonymous sources.
right, and he can't. He's like the stud of tech, and he can't like try to like find the person's
Yeah.
email address.
God, so
You know,
maybe
is it
that's the
Earth-
that's the
Is
twist.
it
Is the kid at the end.
earthlink.net? Oh, the kid at the end.
Well, maybe the kid's sending him the email. That first email, the cock email.
Let's wait,
We don't know.
No, he is. That's the whole point, isn't he? Wait, isn't he?
But no, it's supposed to be Meredith, right?
The mother of the son.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. You only
This is
get
the worst
anonymous
episode
emails
ever.
there. They
Time out. We gotta stop.
Full stop.
Structure. Full stop. Okay. we'll circle back around to the emails.
Wait, are we going
later.
to talk about? That's only the first time
Marcus,
they say the word
Marcus.
cock in this movie, but they're going to say like
Okay,
they're going to
okay.
say it about.
Point of order. Let's start from zero again and bring it up.
Okay. So here we go. Let's talk about this movie now. So he has the issues with the hard drives. He's looking for a big fat promotion, right? But of course, his old flame steps in, gets the promotion, new power dynamic established immediately in their relationship. And he goes up to see her for the first time. Of course, Demi Moore, we're talking about, Michael Douglas. And she basically puts the moves on him. And in one of the most awkward sex scenes in 90s film history, shall we say?
At least
So, yeah. So that's basically...
any film history.
Right. And so he gets, which we can show a clip from, and basically it balloons into this huge sexual harassment suit. And then the whole
He
film...
said, she said harassment
Right.
thing, yeah.
Right, and that's what this movie turns into. I think, with the box art and the marketing materials of this movie, it's definitely trying to cash in on the erotic thriller genre that was popular at the time, the Basic Instinct.
And he especially was a real stud of the erotic thriller. He was the Fatal Attraction man
Fatal
and
Attraction
the
man.
Basic Instinct man. And now he's back. It's a few years later. It's tired. He's tired. It's just like such a slog, like it's so repetitive because he's been in this place before.
If you need a male victim for a female aggressor, you know who to call.
Right. and I think that's what's funny in this movie with him is I think he's really at the tail end of his desirability. Like I think he's run really ragged in this movie.
He crossed the line with he has a mullet, guys.
Well, I was gonna say
He has a bouncing mullet.
That's his classic mullet, though, right?
No.
It's bigger and it's more pronounced.
This is a hold on. This is a grandma at Sturgis mullet. That you know what I'm talking about? This
Keep
is
going.
like this is like a biker
grand
grandma.
mall. I think it says a grand mall.
No.
Which
A
is
grandma.
Well, that makes
funny band.
sense.
This is a grandma at. This is a grandma at Sturgis. Is what I was saying. This is what it looks like.
hillbilly elegy grandma.
Yeah, totally.
All right, focus. Here we go.
So
I'm talking to
anyway,
myself.
yeah, I know. This movie to me, guys, though, as soon as it gets into this, I mean, right off the top, the movie is planting seeds that it is trying to be this completely. I mean, I find this movie to be a completely irrational, right-wing men's rights propaganda movie, and it does not.
Yeah,
and right in the beginning. It plants the seeds of that. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but I do want to divert your attention to where in this movie it is first mentioned, which is in the very opening, Michael Douglas on his way to work before the hard drive scene we watched just a little bit ago. He's on the ferry and he's taking the ferry to his job because this movie takes place in the Seattle region. And there's a guy that he knows on the ferry who recently lost his job. And but he does say, and I'll show you this real quick. The guy, he has a quick exchange with him, which reveals that they're setting the tone that these old dinosaurs that are aging out of this industry are being threatened by the women that are coming up into the movie.
It's a very loaded exchange, and it's right at the top of the film. So
right,
its agenda is they play their hand immediately.
So yeah, here it is.
Boom. Probably what you make, huh? 150?
Eddie, hang on just one sec here. Why don't you call Cindy, make an appointment, I'll see if I can help out, all right? Eddie, they are not going to sell Austin, all right? I mean, I'm telling you I'm not going to sell. If I'm telling you, who else are you going to believe?
Cindy. Pretty name. Used to have fun with the girls. Nowadays, she probably wants your job.
So, right off the bat, this...
Cool.
Yeah.
Be like that guy.
But
even before that, they try to paint it as like kind of a big cosmic struggle. Too, the wife in the car has a line like where she's like, "Don't climb too close to God, you might shake the tree." Like they're trying to paint it like this is like this is the question for our times. And he's like this sort of Icarus who's about to fly too close to the sun, right? Those
Right.
grandiose
And
figures.
in the sun in this case, portable CD-ROMs.
Yeah, right. But
You know what? Don't dream so high. Like take it down a notch. Yeah, I know. But like, yes, the embittered, crumpled. Oh God, what's the word?
persecuted. I mean, the idea is is that
It's all their fault.
right. Well, this whole movie it's fascinating to look at now when you go back, where we are in 2022 to look at what this movie is like. It's a real cringe watch because it really gets into the idea, a very kind of Fox News look into a persecuted, male as a victim. That's kind of what this is,
It's not even modern Fox News. Just to say, it's very O'Reilly. It's like even more old, like they're trying to be cool now, but like it's like really like it's 90s, like Rush and everything. It's almost a quaint right wing period, People talk less like that now in American culture, even the right wing.
But that opening scene really does kind of set the tone for what this movie, because this movie is an anxiety-ridden experience about these male characters that are being threatened, by the change of technology and the women that are coming in and rendering these other guys obsolete, taking their jobs, and that sets up everything.
In a way, women here are replaced as and I'll say it, a straw woman, not a straw man, but these characters, Demi Moore's character is a straw woman, straw man is what I mean. It's also symbolic. So there's absolutely no character development. Number one, like she's not even close to a character. She's just like threatening woman. But even more importantly, it's like, I think you would see this trope of like the old office guy with like the coffee stained resume. He would be talking about the youth, and they just replaced it. Like this would all have happened in the early 70s or something with like these kids. I don't even know what they're talking about. Actually, it happens now, like with older folks who are like, I don't know, like my Snapchat broke my Facebook, and I just keep hitting the space bar, and so I think it was more like it was a brief period when it was it was kind of isolated. I think it's mainly this film that was an overt knee-jerk reaction to feminism. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really happen much. It wasn't part of a zeitgeist or anything like that, which is odd. Also, slight pairing, because it's not just youth. It's sexual threat. A woman asserting herself sexually and asserting herself in the workplace. So it's like a double whammy. Like we've got to get women like this out of there, as evidenced by the end of the film when there's a sexless woman who successfully runs the company. Spoiler alert. Yeah. We could get into that a little bit later, because it's like, well, a woman can run my office, but not a hot one.
I just want to close the loop on that because the when I was saying Fox News, I guess why I was referencing that is because this movie is that the embodiment of that sort of fictionalized version of the counter argument. The idea that like this equal opportunity hysteria, kind of idea where it's like this stuff that like the stuff that happens in Disclosure, even though Michael Crichton I think suggests that it's based on a true story of some kind, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but
totally.
but for all the right wing, it's like
so I meant
the
straw
idea,
man.
Yeah, exactly. But they can point to it like, well, look at Disclosure. It happened in Disclosure.
Well, what it's analogous to is that really corny, tired argument of kind of like white rights, where it's like why can't I be happy about my race? White men saying that. Like that was very big then. Actually, it's still big now, but like that very blunt, stupid. Very trolling. It's like a proto-trolling kind of argument where it's like,
totally.
Why can't I walk around and you say black is beautiful, and you say white is beautiful, and I get it's like
same.
It's reactionary. Yeah, it's a reactionary.
It's like this. It
is.
I don't agree, but whatever.
Well, I think it's seeing the world changing, and it's saying like we can't. We want to maintain the status quo. So you've got like Anita Hill and sexual harassment claims and saying like, hey, it used to be okay for me to slap women on the butt in the office. It's just no big deal. This movie like totally like hits that head on. You know, they're like, there's a lot of butt slapping in this movie, and they're saying like, hey, if you're going to go around accusing guys of being sexual harassers, well, what happens if a woman does it? You know, that's what this movie is trying to say. Like, so we can't go there. We can't like make this change in society. To, you know, we can't make a big deal out of sexual harassment because look, it could happen to a guy too. You know,
but I think
women could be like that too. That's what I'm saying. You know,
no, right, and that's what we've been talking about the whole time. I'm just saying like there's something specific about that argument that happens with race all the way from the 60s, and then now it's started to be applied, at least in this stupid film, to gender. And what I mean is it's a cynical fake argument, you know, and it's like to say like, why can't I walk around with a white is beautiful? Like it's born of that same thing where it's like
all lives matter.
I'm using right, all lives matter, exactly. It's like I'm using my argument. That is the argument I'm using because it's based just on logic. And yes, on some level, all things being equal, walk around and say, you know, you're being white is beautiful, but like it has no context. And I think that's the salient point where that argument just falls apart like sand, where 100%. It's like you have no, it's like, yes, if we all, you know, I think Bill Maher or something said once, like that kind of argument articulates something that's so asinine where it's like, it's as if all men and all women and all people of all quote unquote races all were at the starting line in a race and they all were equally there. It's just like, no, it's just so much more complicated. So that's why this film is kind of odious. You know what I mean? Because it's also trying to do it in a sneaky way. You know what I mean? It's not you know, a screed by a right-wing video maker or something like that. It's a Hollywood film, so it's pretty weird. It's an odd Hollywood film.
Well, it is. I think that's the first thing. It's like rewatching it was like, man, this is a bizarre time capsule piece. And the thing is that, like, to what you're saying, it's like this almost, you know, anti-affirmative action type of movie. That kind of idea where it's like, you know, companies are going to be ruined by this. You know, by like women, because the idea of like Meredith's character, we should say, you know, Demi Moore's character in the movie, who gets Michael Douglas's promotion. You know, we should explain that, you know, the way she's portrayed in this film is that, like, you know, she has no experience, she has no technical know-how. She comes in as this kind of clueless, you know, sexual harasser, and the only way she
also uses her sexuality that's implied to advance.
Well,
like she sleeps her way up the ladder and she doesn't have talent, and that's absolutely where the film's heart is with that character, because her opposite is the older, less attractive, quote unquote, woman who is qualified, overqualified for that role. And so and they make this again a straw man argument again, where it's like you like she's one of the good women, you know what I mean, which is another kind of racial analogy too, you know, where it's like, no, there are some good women, you know, they're not going to like, you know, put their ass in your face and then like, you know, cry foul later. It's like, you know, like there's some okay ones, and it's just like, it's all thumbs. Like, and I think that the two archetypal women in the film, the woman who gets the promotion and Demi Moore, and just like you said, I didn't even really think about it that much, but it is clear by the end of the film that Demi is simply not qualified, and she's simply the polar opposite of the woman that gets the promotion. And like one's hot and one's not, and it's like, geez, guys, maybe they're both hot, or like it's the other way around. Like, what is going on with this film?
It's really bare with its agenda. Yeah, it's like it's very naked with it. There's that scene where he just spells it out like to his wife, you know, that it's the scene where she's you know, she's saying, did you sexually harass the woman? Like his wife's trying to get to the bottom of what happened. And he's like, sexual harassment's about the power. When did I have the power? You know, he's like, he's trying to
you were born with
spell out the,
we got some footage of this.
I got some footage to support that point there, Marcus. Okay. So, this is kind of everything here. Okay. This is where Michael Douglas is literally losing his mind and turns into a Bill O'Reilly rant here. So here we go.
Let's do it.
Happy to be divorced.
Oh, sorry. No, that's not it.
Ooh, that's good too.
That's good too. Actually, can I do that one first and then we'll do yours? Because they go in tandem. Because the movie plants the seeds. This plants the seeds. Yeah. Here's where he overhears one of his wife's friends talking about how the Barbie doll figures are what men really want. So here we go.
Be happy to be divorced, Ken.
I'm serious. I don't know which one is more stigmatizing.
Barbie stigmatized. That's
It's that whole male 36-24, 36 image of beauty. Women are oppressed. It's just a fact of life.
women are oppressed. 80% of the suicides are committed by men. They're dropping like flies with heart attacks.
What?
Not as tough.
Hey, sorry, we're just fighting the wars.
You start the wars.
Del, I'm sorry, I don't have my own crisis hotline.
So
There you go. Yeah.
little seeds like that are planted, throughout the whole film.
Yeah. Good call.
And then it explodes right here into this total, right-wing meltdown. Here we go.
I got a better idea. Why don't I just admit it? Why don't I be that guy, that evil white male you're all complaining about? I like it, then I can fuck everybody.
Tom, stop it.
Hey, Chow Min, come on down here, will you? I want to exercise my dominance.
Scaring her.
I'm getting a patriarchal urge.
Tom, the children.
Yeah, my children, all right? My children that I provide for and protect. That they can come in here between me and my wife, move my family out, take my job, and take the family in the house that we have made. And I apologize to them, Susan.
So embarrassing.
Well, I know, cringe.
Yeah.
That is some major cringe. Wow.
So-
Jeez, I didn't quite pick up on that scene.
Oh, I know.
I was getting bored. The movie's kind of boring, but that was great.
I actually have a lot of fun with this movie. Even though
No,
it's
I know,
totally
it's just-
wrong, but I have a lot of fun watching it.
There's
But-
fun parts, but the wrong, like the beneath the surface is so gross. Like,
Yeah,
For me, it sags too, kind of. But I'm down. Just hey, disclosure, bitch. I'm into it.
yeah,
Get it on.
we can't leave with the far right agenda of this movie without mentioning that that's why Dennis Miller signed on as well, right? Like further proof.
No,
that-
he wasn't like that until 9/11. He really wasn't.
It's
I don't
just
think so.
it's kind of a fun.
He's maybe a libertarian.
It's kind of a fun inclusion that he's there, though. I think in spirit,
It is fun, but I don't know. I'm not defending Dennis Miller, but just he did. But I'm just saying, like the context.
By all means.
No, I'm just saying, like the context, Barb, is Dennis was one of my favorite ancillary small office guy characters, and the other big moment. There's a few, but like the other big one is the net, which is really one of my favorites of 90s shit. And it has a lot of what we're talking about, all the tech stuff. But anyway, Dennis Miller would pop up and just be sort of like the friendly office friend who's helping and believing the person who no one else believes, and or like turns on the friend. He kind of turns on Michael Douglas, and Anyway, I was kind of enjoying a bearded Dennis Miller in the midnight.
Seen more ass than a rental car, babe.
Yeah. yeah. And also, I think,
does this? You know what? Wait, this. Let's stop being so serious. Like that could shuffle us into the B word.
Babe?
No, not that B word. The other one. No, just like all the boner talk.
Oh yeah, hang on.
Oh, finally!
get
I've
to
been
it.
waiting for this moment.
I know, really. We're at the midpoint. This is just such a bad movie.
I jumped the gun on this already a little bit. Yeah.
I think there's not that much to chew on ultimately, but we're chewing on it. But we should just get to like all the dumb shit stuff. And
I just want to say real quick, if I can, like, you talked about just, Dennis Miller being one of the great office personalities of the 90s. Also, I think one of the other like archetypal things you need to have if you're going to have a gang of computer nerds, in your movie is you got to have that center part blonde hair Kurt Cobain guy. Got to have one of them,
Kurt
lone
Cobain.
gunman. Yeah, Kurt.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Gotta
Yeah,
have
it's
one
like he looks like he's in the fucking In Utero video,
Yeah.
And we'll show the scene we're referring to, the VR video. But like, no, totally the archetype. And he's like, he dresses a little different, and like sometimes he kind of runs late, but you know, he's him. He's got his own little way about him. It's that vague idea of like a Wozniak kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he comes in 2 hours late and he says all these words. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about, but he's a genius. It's that kind of like old boomer guys mystified by tech guys,
Yes.
We got one of those here.
Gotta have one of those. All right. So before we get into the boner talk, only because I think just we should keep on the chronology of the movie, let's talk about the sexual harassment scene. If we can, then we'll get to your boner shit.
No.
Well, they're hand in hand.
They are hand in hand. So the centerpiece of this film, and also what makes it, I guess you'd classify it as, an erotic thriller, even though it's an incredible.
It is the only instance that you could point to,
right,
to qualify it as an erotic thriller.
Yeah.
Otherwise, CD-ROMs.
And as we're saying, the filmmakers and Michael Crichton, the writers behind this movie, are turning the sexual harassment concept on its head by having a woman harass a man, forcing herself on him in a power dynamic. So that's what's happening here in this very cringeworthy movie. So
hey, it could happen, babe.
Get out of here. All right,
everyone's turning this off right now.
I vote no.
All right, let's take a look at this BJ scene, y'all. Any setup, Tom, for this?
No.
Okay. No, you mean no.
Let's just roll that beautiful no footage.
That beautiful BJ footage. All right, here we go.
Let me be the boss.
Oh God, no. There's no nudity.
Gosh. Oh.
It's a horribly filmed. Dark close-ups.
Well, it's also that it's like 2, 3, 5, and we're putting in snapper.
No, but
vision.
it's really just filming.
I have to look away.
I have to look at this again.
Wait a second.
That's his boss, and she's 20 years younger than him.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's no. Where's my no?
Yeah, you following it up,
There was
homie,
no's.
with the no?
There was a couple no's in there.
Oh, because I remember it being like no.
No. There's a very sustained repetition of no's with escalating volume and absurdity in his voice. Like, no. Well, you guys can watch it, or if you already have. It's awful. No, actually, can
Wait,
I
what does it sound like? What does it sound like?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm trying to block it out of my mind. Can I bring something up about shit 90s filmmaking? My friend brought this up to me years ago, and he was so on the money, but I was like, why don't I like the way these films look and they go down? So anyway, I'll be brief, but you guys will know what I'm talking about. He was talking about the movie where it's like De Niro is the baseball fan. What was that movie? You don't? Oh, really? He's like an obsessive, crazy baseball fan. Wow, nobody knows it? Holy shit. Anyway,
no.
Who cares? All right, De Niro's hey, you haven't struck anybody out in a while. And he's getting threatening, and then he's on the mound with the baseball player. Who cares? Because it's just that we were watching it on cable.
The fan. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. So anyway, my point is that that's a perfect example. My friend was pointing it out, and he was like, he was getting to the architecture of why this is just filmmaking got so afield from where it was. He says everything now is tight close-ups, just like there. So the composition just sucks, because great films, very often you can take a frame and put it on your wall, and like I'll say that in the 90s, bucking that was like Pulp Fiction, like everything's composed and there's like a tableau. There's like person's here and like everything's set at the mise en scène. But so often back then they were trying to like scare up action. Speed 2 is another example of this, where it's just. It's an incredibly awful thing just on the face of it as I describe it. And then we'll move on. But this film and that scene had it. It's tight close-ups that are ugly and they're not suitable for framing, and they're hard to gauge, and they're underlit, and they're loud, and there's a lot of fast cuts of these shit close-ups.
Totally.
I'm with you. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Talk to me about that for a second, because that was a horrible time. And really the only one bucking it was Tarantino, I think. Or and also Tarantino. I mean, and also... So tired today. Scorsese.
Yeah, the way they shot it is really tight. I think it adds to that claustrophobic feeling. It's all in that same office building, that same awful office building with like the glass and the bricks and stuff. It's all shot really tight. Yeah, it feels this movie does feel very claustrophobic, and yes, it's very ugly. I don't know. Barry Levinson's kind of a hack, right? I mean,
he has
Barry Levinson actually is kind of a perfect snapper director, if I may. Let's just can I just read off a couple of Barry Levinson's films? Okay, we got.
I think he gave up.
We got Sphere. It's a snapper. It is a snapper.
Crichton. Also Crichton.
Right.
Yeah.
Toys. Robin Williams. Toys.
That was trying to be different and ambitious, but
Sure.
still garbage. Again,
Wag the dog. Got Wag
I
the
hate
dog.
that film so much. Insulted my intelligence. Anyway,
Man of
God.
the Year, Robin Williams.
oh, dude, next birthday, I'm doing that movie.
I was afraid of
It's
that.
90 minutes. It's 90 minutes of everyone else fake laughing at what Robin Williams is saying.
Ooh,
And it's
that sounds
so
good.
oh, you guys have never seen it?
Wow.
It's impossible to watch.
Okay.
It's like because he's here we go. He's Jon Stewart in the narrative of the film, and so he's hilarious, and he says all this off the cuff stuff, and every ancillary person, his crew and everybody he meets has to go like, oh my god, and crack up to all these really cringe ad libs that Robin Williams, rest in peace, has. That film is a chore. Barry Levinson.
Well,
Barry
so-
Levinson.
and also Rain Man, obviously most
Okay.
famous for. But let's now get into, now that we've seen that, the movie then gets into its second half, which is devoted purely to the thrilling depositions behind the sexual harassment case.
Some hot deposition on deposition action.
Yeah, totally. And
Hot stuff.
and you guys pointed out that yes, the word boner is said a lot. Great.
Drinking game level.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
great.
it says
Film
boner, penis,
analyzing.
dick many
Yeah.
times in this movie. That's the most erotic thing about this movie is how many times
And
they say
there's
it.
also Demi Moore's also saying a lot like his penis in my mouth.
Yes.
And it sounds so clinical and hard, and ugly.
But but I'm sorry, but my husband just had his penis in another woman's mouth. Like,
Yeah, and then she's like, were you ready to apologize when my penis was in your penis was in my mouth?
yeah, that's not what you were saying when your penis was in my mouth. Yeah,
Exactly.
It happens many times. Lawyers
sorry, I
saying
couldn't-
it like.
I'm
why
sorry,
are-
I couldn't. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Was your penis in my mouth? Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
here we go. Let's
See me.
here we go. Let's listen to some hot boner action.
The movie's very
here.
repetitive. I'm just realizing that that's a sign this film is like just moronically repetitive too. Like
Yeah.
no one can even think because like penis. You could have said penis in my mouth differently, but that line is repeated over and over again, and no,
It's
no
all
variant.
phoned in. Yeah, phoned in
My
script.
God. But anyway,
Okay, here we go.
get that B word going.
Here we go. Here's some B word for you.
Did you have a conversation after lunch about how seeing Meredith gave you a boner?
That was
It's a look at the
something
papers.
else.
Isn't the term boner a slang for erection?
Yes.
You had a conversation about having an erection, a boner,
Yes, but I didn't say it.
but you laughed.
It's such a dumb word.
Yes.
So you condone it.
So you did have a bone.
It was harmless.
Mullet.
Okay, so yeah. Ben,
it's
I
that-
just want to Oh, I just want to say off of that, there is also in that once Demi Moore is taking her deposition, one thing I just want to thread through here to the point we were making earlier is that the whole idea of what we were saying about her character, right? And sort of being, she's having that sort of male intense sexuality, from her own point of view. And then there's a big reveal where she actually gets so carried away in the deposition that she reveals herself as this villain. And that's what the whole point of this movie, book, whatever is it culminates in this moment. So I thought we should definitely get it in. So let me just play it here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's at least be honest about what it's for. I am a sexually aggressive woman. I like it. Tom knew it, and you can't handle it. It is the same damn thing since the beginning of time. Veil it, hide it, lock it up, and throw away the key. We expect a woman to do a man's job, make a man's money, and then walk around with a parasol and lie down for a man to fuck her like it was still 100 years ago. Well, no thank you.
Huh?
Oh no. So there you go.
It's weird.
I'm starting.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I know.
That's just sort of like
I just realized we're reviewing Disclosure.
they're going for like a Pelican Brief thing there.
Yeah,
the courtroom drama, but it's mediation. It's not even a courtroom. It's mediation.
Never a judge. It's literally just across the table mediation.
I think Barry Levinson's pitch for this movie was like, all right, guys, what are like the 3 hottest things right now? Sexual harassment, CD-ROMs, and the guy who wrote Jurassic Park. What if we rolled all 3 of those into one movie?
No, you know that producers and execs had that very conversation. It's a surefire hit. It's a natural.
It's so weird to me, like that. There's no nudity. I'm not trying to be like I want to see her naked or anything like that, but like she was naked on like 3 different magazine covers, like within a year of this movie. And it's supposed to be an erotic thriller, and like a lot of times these movies do have like a big memorable like sex scene or something like Monsters
like
Ball or something.
This is a weird anomalous.
It's a weirdly prudish.
Like they're gonna say the word boner like so many times that it's gonna get an R rating anyway. So why not? Why did they try to clean it up and be like a fully clothed? Sex
I know, and what's
really
funny
weird.
is as we're saying this, what you're saying, it's true. It's a very modest film in its graphic depiction because I think it doesn't care about any of that. Its heart and interest is into what we're saying, which is like this Rush Limbaugh argument.
Yes.
But also, it's so arrested sexually because on one hand it's very prudish and everyone's fully clothed, but then on the other hand they keep saying like such a 10-year-old word, a 10-year-old child's word, like boner. It's just like that's the level of sexuality of this film. You know what I mean? It's
There's
not
lots of like,
steamy.
it's true. There's like panty sniffing and butt slapping.
Boner.
This movie, dude.
It is. It's all very juvenile sexuality.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Kidding me? Well, I just want. I know I'm looking at the clock. There's like all great
so
films
much to get in before the end. Yeah.
Well, hold on. So like there's like all great films that we review here at 1 fucking hour. There's one of those scenes or a few of those scenes that are just priceless. And I'm thinking of Donald Sutherland in the elevator.
Right.
Evan.
So just to set it up, the idea is after the sexual harassment scene, he doesn't. Michael Douglas, shaken up. He's got claw marks on his chest, and I did want to also mention. I don't know if you caught it, but when he does get back on the ferry after this, he's sexually harassed. He sees that same guy on the ferry. He sees that same guy that was forecasting the whole idea of women are going to take our jobs. Yeah. So that's
because he never left the ferry. He just kept going back and forth.
Right.
All day.
So he sees that right after that. So that's also like that just nails home this agenda here. But anyway, he goes home and he hides it from his wife. He doesn't tell her what had happened. And then
I'm going to take a shower.
Yeah, I'm going to get me a beer. And then and then he falls asleep and we enter a dream sequence, which is perhaps the most bizarre.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Oh, wow. They've seen it. All right, here we go.
Well, they've seen it countless. Who hasn't seen Disclosure innumerable times?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go.
That's what makes the pants drape so well.
You work out, Tom?
Well, I get
really
a chance, Bob.
stupid.
Busy late.
This movie is asinine.
Wait.
I've always liked you, Tom. Now you have the power. You have something I want.
Come on, Bob.
And
that's kind of like a reverse of the last shot in Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, totally.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. And that, of course,
exactly. Back to that shot. Sutherland.
We should just shout out Donald Sutherland is the CEO of this hard drive company. And, I think that is sort of to represent a fever dream of his boss literally fucking him because he's involved with the weird convoluted sexual harassment scheme to get him out of the company, which doesn't really track for me. But that's what
it's so badly.
It's like, at what point did they put that plan into motion? Like,
let's get rid of this guy and create this unwieldy, enormous conspiracy.
Yeah,
that's like
now that I'm this guy's boss, I'm gonna get him fired in a really underhanded, backwards
grandiose,
way that puts my job at risk. Yeah,
right. They could just nuke everything.
And And convoluted conspiracy is also like a earmark of all snappers. They all got those for sure.
Right.
But I will say,
but Michael Douglas says at the end, he says, "Did it ever occur to you, Meredith, that I set you up?"
Oh, right, the twist. You gotta have the twist too.
And he didn't. But he didn't.
Yeah, I know he did.
Right, he didn't though.
Why does he even say that? Like,
yeah,
but I didn't. So
yeah,
right.
That's pretty much this whole movie. But I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, this movie's so lame.
But it is.
There's a point at the very beginning, like the girl, the daughter's reading the email. At the very beginning of the movie, it's like setting up the whole thing, and even she gets bored with it, and she starts going like, she's reading the email. Dear Dad, they got this email thing program coming out. Yada yada yada. She does like a thing. It's like the movie gets even bored with its own script. 15 seconds in, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I was just going to say, though, that this is the, that whole thread I was pulling there with this is that it is just, especially going back to the guy in the ferry and the claw marks and everything. Yep. This is all just the absolute delusional fear of an underqualified woman rising to the top of an
what it's like? The whole film is the dream sequence of a corporate exec. The morning before, like, the decision is made between Pam and him for the new VP job or whatever bullshit. But a lot of these thrillers do have that illogical kind of fever dream in its rush to like tie up all the loose ends and come to the wacky conclusion. And this film has that, but it's so lame because I don't even want to bother. I don't even want to get into it because it's so it's so anticlimactic. Is what I'm saying. I say a few minutes here.
There's two things I want to get in.
Okay, well,
one I know
maybe
you definitely want to get.
Yeah, well, let's just go there. Let's just do that.
All right.
It's visually fun. The film becomes fun for a few minutes.
Sure,
that's how I look at it.
Yeah,
and it's remarkable, and everyone will get a kick out of seeing some of this footage.
Yep. So the movie, for some odd reason, maybe it's just because it's in fashion at the time, but the movie culminates into, as I said at the top of the show, a showdown in virtual reality, okay, which you would never see coming in the beginning of this movie, but of course that's what happens. And it, of course, involves hacking.
Now, let's set that up a little bit. Yeah. Well, let's set that up maybe a little bit. I'm not sure when Lawnmower Man came out. Probably right.
Another snapper, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Much so. But VR captured the imagination in the early to mid 90s. And, lots of those gloves and VR is still with us and it's gotten better, but it still looks so lame.
Traveler.
When you're wearing them, it's never going to break through. That's my theory because you just look too much like an asshat when you're wearing all that stuff. So, but it was in the zeitgeist majorly. And I feel like this is a perfect example of a bullshit, shoehorned in thing. This film's dumb plot could have not had anything to do with VR whatsoever. And actually, you know what? I was remembering the film because I'd seen this a few years ago. I forgot it's not about this incredible VR software technology that he's developed and it's going to turn the world upside down. It's about the portable CD-ROMs. What I'm saying is VR is so superfluous. It's like they were just like Crichton read like a Wall Street Journal article about VR, right? Or saw Lawnmower Man. It was just like, oh shit, shoehorn, and just it's awkward. But we were talking before about how they weren't even close. These baby boomers weren't even close to getting technology,
right?
And it blossoms into 1,000 flowers in the VR sequence.
Yeah, he's just totally kind of mashing two topical things together, and the sexual harassment storyline kind of ends about 35 minutes before the end. I was looking at the timeline, going how much longer? How the sexual harassment thing wraps up, and then that's when they go back. They return back to this computer storyline, and that's how that kind of ends up the movie. There's two plot lines.
The riveting CD. Marcus, help us out with the VR because it's such a fantastical baby boomer notion of what VR is.
Yeah, what's awesome, he goes into this VR world, all the possibilities, right? You can do anything in the world, but then what he's doing, he goes into that VR world to read documents.
Yeah.
He's reading legal documents, that are being
from these files. He opens the Malaysia. Well, we'll look at this footage, but I thought maybe you had some insights about. I think that's well said. I think your observation where it's a boundless world when you put the goggles on. but it's just like, well, let's look at some fucking files. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
So let's check some of this shit out.
All right,
But
and
also
definitely,
it's also really ugly. You know.
yeah, and definitely you're going to get a nice cameo here by our Kurt Cobain programmer here as well. So here we go.
Yeah.
My God, she's in a system.
System. She hacked into the mainframe.
You can see her take shape. She takes a form inside there. Can she see him?
Man,
I don't think so.
they're having a face off.
Angel, I need
Oh,
This is
okay.
the lasers I was talking about, and he's standing on like a trampoline. Oh,
Oh my God!
Stop these files from being deleted.
Cobain.
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were pointing out that this was done by ILM, Tom. Like
It was. It's in the credits.
That hallway reminds me of the Phantom Menace. Like that, he's in a big hallway. It looks like the palace in the Phantom Menace that they go to, like almost like.
I'll take your word for it. I only saw it once. But
Trampoline.
anyway, who doesn't love that kind of stuff? It's really shitty. And anyway, I just wanted to get into like how it's all thumbs. They can't even get close to the notion of what VR would really be like, you know. And
it's
like
not even dazzling, you know. Like the Lawnmower Man has like really cool effects. Hackers has like you're like flying through stuff. There's that sort of like you're flying through the wires or computer chips. This is just you're in this boring ass hallway looking at
up
paper
some files, man.
It's
Look at
pretty
more
funny.
files. Yeah.
One thing I want to get in before the clock runs out is just a little bit on Michael Crichton, the author of the source material. There's an amazing article I'm going to link in the description of this YouTube video where you can check out it's a whole amazing review of the Disclosure book that I read, and it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
But one thing it talked about is that doing this sort of counter argument, you know, like crazy, you know, wild stories like this, that sort of idea. He's done it before, and he has a book called The Shape of Fear, which is an anti-climate change novel. Right.
Wow.
So again, where he kind of fabricates a storyline about how, you know, tree hugger people are staging ecological disasters only to just prove their point about what's happening.
Crisis actors. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That mentality.
Crisis actors. Right. So he has that idea where he's, creating fiction to justify the counter
What a
narrative.
douche.
Exactly.
Wow. Michael
Exactly.
Crichton confuses me because, well, no, he doesn't confuse me exactly, but like, I first really thought about him in any kind of way with the movie Dealing from 1972, which is the 40. It's got this incredibly long subtitle, but who cares? 1972. No, but the only reason I'm bringing it up is because so it's Michael Crichton and his brother actually under some kind of pseudonym made a whole movie about drug dealers in like Harvard, and so they're basically, you know, hippie businessmen douchebags. Which is, I love how that's how Michael Crichton approached the 70s and the 60s, you know, where it's like, you know, like just businessmen, you know, with like accountants, you know, crunching numbers about like bags of weed. And that's like, he just seems like a really uncool guy.
Well, I was going to say is that like you would see like in today.
I don't know much
right?
about him.
Well, I was going to say like with movies, you know, today or just any works of fiction. I mean, that's where the far right gets their justifications. They get it from fiction. You know, and they look to pieces of fiction to point to what should happen in reality, and it's very scary when you're looking at this movie in
like
that
Ayn
lens.
Rand or something. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But he's not purely like what's weird is sort of with Crichton is like corporations are often the evil people in the, you know, root evil, like Jurassic Park. It's like profits over people. You know, like the same with Westworld is like that too. You know, so he's got a little bit of that.
He probably has this rugged. Probably more closer to libertarian, like rugged individualism, kind of like Ronald Reagan at the ranch kind of like vision, make America great again in that sense, you know. I don't know him at all, and I haven't really read his crap because it looks like a waste of time. But it's like he just seems like, if anything, just sort of like a buck the system individualism kind of person. You know what I mean? So maybe that means that he's like, they're all a bunch of ripoff artists. Like he feels very cynical to me.
Yeah, I think cynical.
Very, very cold.
That's what I think is like these topical things and mesh them together. And I think he was saying like the one quote I read from him, because he was getting a little bit of flack back in the day for it, but he was saying like, Oh well, I just wanted to show you that if you reverse the roles, then different kind of questions appear. You know, he was trying to. Yeah, he's like, I'm just asking questions here. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about I wanted to say too is apparently in the Disclosure original novel, what he does, and it's a little bit, it's in this movie a little bit, is that he puts all of the arguments to his point in the book through the POV of other characters. So he thought through all of the counter arguments that people would have to what his ideals are about this.
And then their characters are mouthpieces for them.
It's the whole article covers
it's all
it.
set up. You know what, babe? This movie shouldn't be called Disclosure. It should be called Disingenuous.
Yeah. Okay, babe.
Yeah. That's my final comment.
Let me just spotlight one of my I'm not going to call it a favorite line, but one of the cringiest lines in the whole.
Does it include the word boner?
No, it doesn't. Oh my God, it could. Is when he's on the ferry with his wife after she's just kind of found out about everything, and she's just like, "Oh my God, you know, what is she? Is she attractive?" And he's like, "She's an 8."
Yeah.
No, she's a 9. God. She's a 9. She's a 9.
Yeah, then he like stops himself like, no, 9.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what?
Yeah. What a guy.
What a
so,
guy.
you know, actually speaking of the wife, who the funk is this actress? I don't know. Marcus had an observation.
I was like, when they kept calling her Susan, and I had to look it up. I was like, is that Susan from Seinfeld? I thought it was George's wife.
George
Susan.
Costanza's wife.
Yeah.
She sure as hell looks like her and kind of behaves like her. Well, there's a kind of 90s frump that like the certain way that women dress and stuff like that, and haircuts and everything.
Not basic.
Like kind of unflattering. Yeah. But boy, is there anything good? Because I can't think of anything.
There's the music. Wait, the music is bad. There's like, you know, usually a great movie has a great song in it. This movie has no music, no anything. You couldn't remember the score.
The
right?
VR song is pretty wild.
Fair enough. But yeah, the music is really generic. It really feels just like computer generated buttons pressed. But is there anything good? I mean, this is a straight up bad film. This is just
I had 2 really big laughs in it, and that's good, I guess. Like the
not
no
intentional.
Scene, the no scene and the yes scene, actually, when he's like we got all yes.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
The victory like
right.
fist pump, like Tiger Williams, like
when he finds out at the 11th hour, when he finds out
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. When he finds out at the 11th hour that the whole sexual harassment situation was recorded coincidentally on someone's answering machine.
Which is such a
butt dial. It was saved by butt dial.
I know.
No, so I'm asking, like, is there anything where it's...
Well, but they conveniently missed that on that recording is him being like, "So you want to get fucked?" You know, or whatever.
I know, but the lawyer lays it out like he said no 31 times. You know?
I know it's
no, but so no. I just want this on the record for one fucking hour here. This is not good. Like what I'm saying is we've done bad films and we're like, oh, but bang and bong and like cracking up is kind of interesting and weird. But this is just not good in all kinds of ways.
I think it's an
There's
interesting.
No
I think it's an interesting time capsule curio, and there's some camp fun to it because of the VR and the boner shit. But yeah, I mean, I actually think you could have fun watching this and cringing at it if that's your thing. But it's not good. There's no good filmmaking in it or good choices being made.
There's some camp, absolutely. And if you're really into the 90s, you get a big scoop of 90s here.
Yeah.
Like a very specific kind of 90s, you know, like CD-ROM 90s. Like,
all right. That was it. I think we barely made that one. But that was one fucking hour, everybody, on Disclosure. Can't believe we did that. But that was our spring break, guys. Did you have fun on our spring break?
You're asking
Watching
me?
Disclosure.
Yeah, it was great. No, I look. Well, can I maybe recommend? It's not my favorite of '90s, bad thrillers, but it's good. I like it. But I have so many. I have a laundry list, and I'll just say for further reading, if you're into Disclosure, if you've seen it or you're curious, I would highly recommend The Temp.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. The Temp. Big shout outs to actually Taylor Rowley, who was our guest on Welcome Dollhouse, because she actually hit me to Disclosure and The Temp, and we're both big fans of The Net. So like I'm fucking all in on this kind of bad film. It's just I've always found Disclosure like it's just too shitty. Like there's not quite enough camp fun for me. But The Temp's pretty good stuff. It's all about corporate intrigue and recipe secrets.
It's good.
And the corporate cookie. Oh, you've seen it? Okay, the corporate cookie.
Hey, I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, you're a fan? I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh no, Temp is awesome. Raimi,
Okay.
shout out to Raimi, who's on the Star 80 episode. She's a big Temp fan for sure.
There you go. Well, maybe we'll
can I-
revisit 90s trash and do
Well,
that.
Can I do a little snapper sidebar? Just a little show and tell here.
Yeah.
Other snappers on the pile here. I just pulled some snappers off the shelf. Maybe some of these can be recommended to anyone who wants to see them. We have Reversal of Fortune. Anyone seen that?
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Glenn
That's,
Close, Jeremy Irons.
Klaus von Bülow story.
Yeah,
It's been a long
It makes
time.
me yawn just looking at it.
I know. It's like uptime.
I actually like this snapper a lot because it's a pretty unhinged, freaking crazy ass movie. And have you guys seen Ricochet?
Yeah. That's kind of weird. Great hip hop soundtrack, number one.
Totally insane, weird.
I like Ricochet.
Lithgow. Yeah.
Like Lithgow unhinged.
No, that Lithgow. No, it's like he's like lifting phone books, right?
Yes.
In his prison cell.
Exactly.
And he has to
Exactly.
fight. No, that's a good camp time. That's something that's a little different, but
more in the
All
vein
like
of
the Blockbuster video, like everything when everything else was checked out, you would get
Yeah.
Ricochet.
it's like plenty of copies for that one.
in the realm of the Temp and Disclosure erotic thrillers, this is kind of one of the king of them all, and it's also beautiful snapper form here. We have Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I mean,
that's just like gold standard kind of.
That's classic.
standard.
That's that was straight to video or something, right?
straight to snapper. Yep.
Close.
Straight to snapper.
And
Straight to scare.
here's the
Tom
holy
Skerritt.
grail. Here's the holy grail in my snapper collection. If you guys wanted to see, I just want to show the good folks at home.
Oh yeah.
Here is my modified executive decision snapper. So
Impressive.
for all the snapper aficionados out there, if you go out and you buy the Kangaroo Jack snappers, you can actually, which are the orange snapper, you can deck out and modify your beautiful, wonderful executive
Oh, and
decisions.
switch out the snapper.
Doesn't it look awesome in orange?
Custom snapper.
Sick man.
Yeah. So
Like that.
Wow.
You had-
You need
What'd
to
you
get
do with Kangaroo?
the tequila sunrise snapper and try that.
What'd you do with Kangaroo Jack?
Oh, threw that shit in the garbage, man. So
Frisbee?
this is
Yeah.
what we do here. If you want to, if y'all want to K-Jack your snappers, hit me up. Just slide into my
Yeah.
DMs and I'll help you K-Jack.
This
your
is how we're
snappers.
living over here. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Orange Kangaroo
Are
Jack.
there more people than you that collect snappers?
No, but it's okay. 'Cause that's more for me. Easier to find, more for me.
and it's
no,
cheap,
Yeah, there was one.
There's so much to talk about on that front, and we're going to have to revisit. I got some gems in that period. I'm more almost into like when it gets really late, like in this whole cycle, like the real dregs from like 98, 99, and they're getting cheaper, and the stars are getting dimmer.
Fading.
Like
Yeah.
B-list people. So yeah, it was fun, and Disclosure is absolutely one of them, and that's what Hollywood gave us.
You know how
25
unfun
odd years ago.
how unfun Disclosure is. Like I was looking up, there was like a Bollywood Disclosure and like a porn Disclosure, and I was like, oh cool, I'll check these out. And it's like, nope, they're boring too. Like the Bollywood one wasn't even worth sending to you guys. It's like, hey,
They're
check
just
this out.
Talking
It's
about
like,
arms, like
yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
great, but anyway, yeah.
Well, let's talk about next week.
Yeah, we're going to start getting back into good movies.
There's
'cause
that.
I think that's our spiritual center. Like we love movies, and we want to like go crazy about movies we love, and we occasionally do trash. So this, but yeah, it's Oscar week.
Next week is Oscar week.
Next week.
Yeah, next weekend is the Oscars. So we thought, let's do 1 fucking hour Oscars style.
And let's ignore not only this year, this decade, past several decades, and just act like it never even happened, and just shut it right out, and get into some get into some mainlining classic One Fucking Hour material here.
Totally. So next week's One Fucking Hour is a Oscar winner, Best Picture.
The
winner.
English Patient.
Yeah.
Several times. Yeah. Chicago.
Yeah.
Actually, it's an
Green
Oscar. It's oh shit. Fucking Nomadland. Let's just all day. No, but but the film is what we're doing actually for real is an Oscar winner many times over. It's one of those guys that like just went bing, 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 and won lots of the primary Oscars. Well deserved,
Yep. And
There we
that
go.
film is another double dip on a director for us. We're going back to William Friedkin.
Oh, yeah.
And that is for The French Connection.
Hell yeah.
Of course, I have the source material. But we'll be doing the French Connection. 1971? Is that right?
So this is a fundamental film for One Fucking Hour. It's much discussed and almost used as a kind of shorthand sometimes. We've already referred to it on the Superfly episode, and so it's dear to us is what I'm saying. And I plan on talking very enthusiastically about all kinds of strange, nuanced things, all kinds of strange, nuanced things.
Yeah,
about
I think
that
we're
film.
going to focus.
That's code for bring your spray bottle.
Oh, I will. I'm going to be packing it. But
it's spray. No, but he's going to spray bottle too. Maybe we all are.
Yeah, we all, because I think with this film, we're definitely going to be getting into, I think, a lot of the underappreciated details of The French Connection. It's a movie that's been talked about a lot, but I think we're going to go under the hood, take that car apart, and look at some shit, deep in the magnifying glass here for things that people don't really talk about with the movie.
Yeah, it's so rich. I mean, let's just agree to not talk about the chase scene.
Sure.
Let's just not do it.
Fine.
This is kind of a fundamental for us. Like, our first episode, Deliverance, like we did not talk about the sexual assault, at all. That's so famous and cited and, squeal like a pig. You just,
I'm down with that.
Here's all this other stuff, guys. So we're going to kind of do that to French Connection too.
Cool. And then also stick around for the end of that episode. I'm not gonna spoil it here, but we're gonna also spend a little bit of extra bonus time next week talking about an Oscar-nominated film from this year that we, I think almost all of us saw, that begs discussing, because I haven't talked to you about it yet, and I'm saving it for next week. So
we have not talked about it.
We have not talked about this. So,
no.
Wow.
I loved it, right?
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get into that next week. But all right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for Disclosure. Hopefully you had fun with that, even though it is a very troubling, sadistic film. And we'll catch up with you guys next week. Have a good rest of your weekend. And everybody, we also cannot leave you without your moment of Zen. So, all right, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For her to come onto him the first night on the job this is supposedly a woman who is smart enough to rise in the corporate structure. Not easy in the computer world.
Yeah.
But gets dumb when sex becomes involved. Gets dumb when violence becomes involved.
She has all the sexual sophistication of a Hell's Angel.
Motherfucking goddamn orange peel beef.